The digitalization of deliveries and logistics is changing how we run our businesses and how we live our lives. For Lumit, digitalizing food deliveries means putting the power and control back into the hands of restaurant owners. It also means disrupting the disruptors who made delivery a way of life in the first place. Boxicon, on the other hand, makes and distributes mailboxes for residential buildings, and Loxess is the company that digitalizes those mailboxes. This adds another layer of convenience to logistics and makes our lives that much simpler. Please welcome to the stage Daniel Lindau, CEO of Lumit, and Anders Ornman, Product Manager at Loxess.
Varsågod, mina herrar. And warmly welcome. Good to see the both of you here.
Thank you.
As we saw in the movie, there's been a lot of disruption in the delivery and logistics industries lately. And especially after the COVID-19, when the e-commerce were flooding with new apps, and there was a lot of disruption going on at that point. But here you are. And what's most amazing, I think, is that you are disrupting the disruptors. And that's why I would like to hear a little bit more about your solutions that are really new thinking. If I start with you and Lumit, because you're changing the food delivery system, as I reckon. So what role does IoT play in that?
So mainly the disruption that has been during COVID is that a lot of restaurants have joined the big food delivery platforms. You use them, you see them. But one of the big issues about them is that sometimes restaurants can feel a bit like they're giving away the customer relation to the platform.
Okay.
If they want to leave the platform, the customer won't know where you're going, and perhaps they take another restaurant. So what we're doing is empowering the restaurants to have their own food delivery system on their own website, bringing back the customer relation to the restaurant. And we're doing that using the Lumit terminal. It's basically a small tablet with a little printer on top. And all the restaurant has to do is get the box, open it up, and push the power button on the terminal. And it syncs, downloads, and even logs in automatically. It senses who it has been sent to using Tele2 IoT, and it makes it so super simple for the restaurants to become digital, something that they really think are super complex before they join.
And guarding their own trademark at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And getting control of their costs and being able to do whatever they want.
Yeah, that's good. And then, Anders, if I look at you and Loxess, you are sort of a two-in-one solution, as I reckon, because you have Boxicon, who builds and installs the mailboxes that we saw on the film.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you are connecting them. So now there's one phrase that we learned about, the last mile thingy. So this is, you're solving the last mile problem with your solution, aren't you?
Yeah, we're part of it. Of course, it's a big issue. But it's a great collaboration. We do our mailboxes on the East Coast locally produced, and then we digitalize it with our IoT devices produced on the West Coast. So that's perfect. And we install them in the entrance of the residential buildings. So it's not villa mailboxes, it's mailboxes for the residential buildings. So it's mailbox cabinets more.
More apartments,
so
more
yes,
mailboxes.
many apartments.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference, two different worlds, so to say. And we also digitalize the doors. So we have the full access of the entrance. So it will be like a delivery spot, more or less. The entrance becomes a delivery spot. And as of now, already 2 out of 3 of the delivery recipients, once the delivery is in a mailbox or a parcel box or at home, or outside the door. And we are more or less that. We are a secure delivery inside the entrance of the not your apartment.
Not my door,
but inside
the
the residential building in a mailbox.
I would love to have that.
Yeah, of course. Everyone would.
Unfortunately, I stay in a house, so there we have a problem.
Yeah, and it's good for the delivery person as well, because they don't have to run in the staircase and stuff like that. It's much easier. It's much more convenient for the delivery person to make a delivery faster, more cost reductive and stuff like that.
But Anders, how does, since this is IoT Talks, how does IoT fit into the picture?
Well, it's crucial, of course. I mean, one of the biggest costs in access systems is installation, it's cabling, you have routers in the basement, Ethernet cables, the customer itself has to get what's called like a Tele2 abonnement and stuff like that. It's a lot of decisions. It's hard to make a decision about it. It's hard to make a decision to buy it. It's expensive. We offer internet as a service, of course, much like you. You just plug and play. You install the device into the mailbox, and everything is connected. And it's like internet as a service for us, and also reduce the point of failures. Instead of like we have routers and cabling and other stuff that can be the issue, we know that it's either us or it's Tele2 that has issues.
Yeah.
So it's reduced the points of failure.
Oh, that's great. So knowing who to blame
And cost.
is a good thing.
Exactly.
So what about SIM management, Daniel? How does Cisco IoT Control Center help your solution?
Well, it's a tremendous tool to have, being able to monitor all the SIM cards easy. We have trigger alarms that kicks in if we have excessive data use, and it's also ensuring that we don't have to have a lot of staff monitoring it. It's just provides with triggers to me. One of the funny things that occurred in the early days before we had the Cisco control system was that we had excessive usage from a card, and we called to the customer, and they had plugged our SIM card into the tablet and started watching Netflix on the tablets. Those things doesn't happen anymore because Cisco provides us with the information that the SIM card has been removed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And I'm really looking forward to, in the future, incorporating their API so we can real-time provide data to our staff about issues and usage and stuff like that. So it's really great.
And back to you, Anders.
Yeah.
When, having the mailboxes, the existing mailboxes of residential houses, so how are there any challenges? Can you digitalize those? Are there any challenges around that? If they want to maintain the ones that are
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's 1.3 million mailboxes in Sweden that are already out there, mechanical, not digitalized. So that's like half of the apartments have a mailbox. And as of now, it's virtually impossible to on-site cable those with cabled electric locks and stuff like that. It's too expensive and it's hard to decide about. So that's why we are not having it yet, but soon. What's it called? A special lock for the mailboxes that suits most of the brands that are out there. So instead of throwing mailboxes away or waiting until they are end of life to buy new ones in 15 years, it's a steel product, so it's a long life. You can upgrade them. It's like an upgrade path, a retrofit. It's a real Loxess is what we call it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let's very briefly, but look into the future. We're having a futurist after us. So for Loxess, what do you foresee when it comes to digitalizing in the
For
future?
Loxess, regarding logistics, the last mile, and for us, last mile and deliveries it's choices. Everyone has different opportunities. How they want their deliveries. Some people want to go to the store and buy it. Some people want to do a click and collect. You go to the grocery stores and get it. You can get it at a parcel box at the grocery store or a parcel box outside, or you can get it in a mailbox or a parcel box inside the residential building. And that's probably where most will get it eventually. But that's and what we will be a part of at least.
Yeah. That will be no problem scaling up then. What about you, if you to gaze into the future?
If I'm to gaze into the future, I think that the next part in the digitalization will be that the smallest independent companies providing services, food, stuff like that, they have to digitalize, but they're not able to do it by themselves. So I think it's going to be a more and more growing business of companies providing services like white label solutions, helping those who even find it hard to create a Facebook account to become digital. That's partly what we're doing, but I think it's going to grow even more. And IoT is going to be key.
Did you hear that? IT is key. Now, ladies, our digital hosts, do you have any questions for the panel?
Several questions. One is for you, Anders. They want to know about the mailboxes in the buildings. How do you ensure you have sufficient signal coverage?
We secure that.
The tricky questions come
yeah,
to
exactly. The deeper you get into a house, the worse it is, of course, in a residential building.
Okay.
In the entrance, so far we have had very good coverage, of course. So far, so good. You can also adjust the antenna, and if there's catastrophic, you can use an antenna somehow, an extra. We have not been having to use that so far.
Okay. And you have another one?
I do, because your solution addresses challenges in Sweden, but how is it in other countries?
Was it to me? Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
The mailbox, how the mailbox are designed in Sweden and in Norway are the same. It's same in Finland. Denmark, it's different. So it's kind of different, but the concept is more or less the same. They have mailboxes in their entrance. They, of course, has an entrance door that can be digitalized. And everything is scalable. And I mean, we're building our platform in a scalable way that's fit everyone more or less.
I have a question for Daniel. We've gotten this question for several panels today, so we're finally getting to ask this. Who owns the data?
Oh, the tricky one.
That's a tricky one. Who owns the data? Well, most of the data is owned by the restaurant, I would say, and some is owned by us. But yeah, it's a tricky one. You put me on the spot there.
Sorry.
It's okay.
But I think it's a good thing that the restaurant owns their data about the future, and this is something that we will definitely talk more about.
Definitely.
Privacy in the future. Thank you, Daniel and Anders. A warm applause for the panel.